My daughter ran across a photo album with a bunch of old pictures, and I couldn't help it. It brought back a ton of memories. This first one is my old 1955 Chevy pickup that I went through. I didn't do a full restoration like I did on my second pickup. My second pickup I don't have a picture here with this group of pictures. Is my the one that I did everything on. I stripped it down to every nut and bolt on the second one. It was my '57 pickup that I had. I did a yellow. I did a Camaro subframe on the front of it. But this one was just I kept it stock, and this was like one of the. It wasn't the first paint job I did, but it was a paint job I did on this car when I was over at Delta College taking some general courses, and I had always had an interest in doing auto body. So I took a series of classes from Mr. Nishimoto, I think his name was, shop teacher, very good shop teacher. And then if you're in there after so many semesters, he'd let you work on your own project. And I brought the Chevy truck in there and was working on that, and that time period too. I had my '69 Camaro, but this was the first one that I started with, and this is a shot of. This is taken over at our Thornton Road house, a house I grew up in. I had this dog, Australian Shepherd, and her name was Gypsy, and that was only like one of the best dogs I've ever had. Everywhere I went, that dog was like a shadow. She followed me around and wanted to go everywhere I went. She was just a little sweetheart. I cherish the thought of her. These are that '69 Camaro that I mentioned before in another video, and a '68 Camaro that I had. I think whenever my brother bought it from me, and so I painted it with that reddish color with the gold nose stripe around it. So that's when I was after I painted that truck, and I was getting into painting more, and after paying what I thought was outrageous price, American Auto Body in Lodi paid the Camaro first, and I didn't like that they didn't strip it all down, so I repainted it and painted. I thought I did a way better job than they did on it, but both of those cars I painted. As a shot of Rod and Greg over at Thornton Road house. I don't know what he was working on there, but Greg is kneeling down, and Rod's got those shorts from the '80s. Everybody had short shorts. I used to run around in a corduroy blue shorts all the time, and other buddy Greg, he had pink short shorts. There's a shot of Greg. I think I didn't notice it before that. He's standing in front of my old motorcycle I had, a 550 Suzuki motorcycle. And there's a shot of my brother Dean. After he bought that '69 AMX from me, he wanted to repaint it. He was originally going to paint it red, but there's another whole story behind why it didn't get painted red, so we ended up painting it blue. But he's a proud owner of that AMX. There's a couple more shots of it. There's of me at I believe this was the 83 Street Machine. It might have been earlier than that shot, because I did a bunch of, I went up to Sacramento early 80s. I know I did 81, 82, and 83. So in fact, here's a sticker I found. There's a sticker of 81. So I think this was taken in 83. There's a shot of Rod and AMX and Greg in front of his GTO. And this is like one of the only events that we entered into. And this is definitely 83. And they had this event that you had to go around these hay bales, and you had to drive it with the passenger. So this is Rod's AMX, and so the passengers hanging out the window was my buddy of mine, Mark Smith, with a broom, and you had to carry this I forgot what it was. It was some type of like a hockey thing or something that you had to parade around, and the fastest time around these hay bales you got a prize. And here's a shot. I wish it was a better shot, but it's a picture. All three of us. There's Rod, closest one, at AMX on the left. The middle one is Greg, and on the far right is me, Dave, in front of my Camaro. It's a pretty good shot. There's a I think it was the second day, early in the morning. There was a line of cars with my car out front there. Here's a shot of mine, and I got this idea of I thought it would be neat because everybody's going with chrome everything, so I was trying to improve the looks of it. So underneath that hood, I found like an 1/8 inch sheet of steel, and I cut it to fit the underside of that hood, so the whole thing is chrome. And I didn't think about it at the time, but so I attached it to the hood, but then the springs to hold up the hood weren't strong enough because you added that extra weight. So I ended up I cut up the lower parts of that hood on the underside, and I put extra weights in it to counterbalance it. That was like crazy. I eventually took it out and took that piece off. Here's the old buddies of mine standing in front of a Corvette. It's on the left is Mark Woods, and my first roommate down at Fresno State, John Vignolo. As a shot of me at the Carcraft. And that's this next shot is just a few shots that we had. I went down to LA one time where they had the Street Machines. Most of the times I went up to Sacramento, but one year we made a trip down to LA, and we had an interesting experience there because my brakes went out. We missed the first day of the show. My uncle Everett helped me out replacing my brakes all day Saturday.